One win away from clinching the Stanley Cup. The Vegas Golden Knights returning home on Tuesday night with a 3-1 series lead, and the city of Las Vegas is ready to erupt. Bruce Cassidy reminding his team on Sunday, it's not over till you get that 16th win.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco along with Chris Golick from Las Vegas.
Cliche time.
What's that?
It's cliche time.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. You could find us on YouTube at Locked On Golden Knights. Of course, subscribe there at Locked On VGK, on Twitter at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. And we appreciate all of your fun and outstanding comments. The coveted Stanley Cup, Chris, will be in the building on Tuesday night, T-Mobile Arena, and VGK has a chance to lift it up for the very first time. That's not cliche. It is a fact. The Golden Knights up 3-1 in the Cup Series, looking for the closeout after Saturday night's 3-2 win, the nail-biter in Florida. VGK, a very confident team right now. And how will Bruce Cassidy get his team to focus on, again, being here at home? There's a ton of distractions. VGK has to do a lot more than just show up for this game against a team that has already taken a series from Boston after being down 3-1.
I hope the Wags take it easy on the Golden Knights tomorrow and they leave them alone with the honey-do list and all the things like that. Hopefully, as Tony defines the Wags, we have wives and girlfriends / side pieces. That's a Tony thing. That's a Tony thing, but I'm on the train, I guess. But, in all seriousness, I think actually, they were talking about in the presser, right? Today, now Monday, pardon me, we're recording on Sunday night. So Monday is a full day off for the team. Good chance for them to not think about hockey, to try and get away from things, maybe spending time with the family and not thinking about what's at stake is probably the most important thing right now. Once they do get back to practice.
Monday they're at practice. Monday's practice because they have that big circus going on outside.
Oh, Sunday was the off day. So yesterday was the off day. I'm sorry.
Okay, Monday is
they got the brunch. We have Chance's brunch on.
Now
Monday,
this is
Tony.
just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous to me. There was a team earlier on in the Stanley Cup playoffs where the coach, even though they were at home, hey, you just have 2 days. Sequester the team, take them to a local hotel. Make them feel like they're playing on the road anyway, and get them away from all these distractions. People are going to want tickets. People are going to have demands, all sorts of things at home. The kiddos are going to need to do whatever, take them to activities. No, I would just take them. It's only 2 days more, folks. Take them to a local hotel.
I get what you're saying. I certainly do. And to a degree, I certainly think less distractions. So a PR announcement came for practice on Tuesday morning. They are doing Chance's brunch is what they are calling this. They are encouraging
Monday.
fans.
Isn't that
No, I
Monday?
think it's Tuesday.
Oh my gosh, Chris, you're just okay. Go
Either
ahead,
way,
get it straight.
Either way. One of the next 2 days,
they're not
they
going
are
to do
doing
it on game
Chance's
day.
brunch.
Chance's brunch won't be on game day. It's on Monday. Gosh.
Okay. Either
I'm
way,
not going to argue with you, but Monday is the day with all of the shenanigans and the sideshow, and I call it circus.
They're encouraging people to get there at 8:30 in the morning to say hi to the players when they come in their cars. That was literally what the email said.
Oh man,
I don't. Yeah. I'm with you. Whenever this stupid, whenever this dumb thing happens, I'm with you that this is too much. I get you want the fans to have their moment, and the fans deserve their moment, and hopefully the fans are going to get a great moment somewhere in the vicinity of the Las Vegas Strip, because they ain't going to go in front of Aria if we do have a parade. If we're not putting lucky ahead of the carriage right now, folks. But these are things that we do need to start talking about a little bit. You like that, Tony? You like that? You think Town Crier is going to be at the parade?
Please,
but
no.
he's been at the last couple of games, by the way, the home games. I sent you a picture of him.
Thanks.
We're close here. Let's do this right. Let's get this thing to the finish line. Leave the players alone. Give them another day to do their thing and focus on winning one hockey game that happens to award you the Stanley Cup. Right. Leave Chance out of this. And I love Chance.
Too many sideshows. Let's talk about this team's resilience. They won on Saturday, and in doing so, they have now won 5 of 6 bounce back games after a loss, which is really good in the playoffs. What is it about this team's ability to come back? They won game 4 after dropping their first game of the series in game 3.
So first, this email right here, Tony, if this ever focuses.
Okay, that's good. Okay, is that
game
on Tuesday?
5. It is on Tuesday. It is on Tuesday.
All those shenanigans are on Tuesday.
The day this team might win a Stanley Cup. They want this to happen. I don't agree with this.
Chance's big party?
It's his brunch. It's Chance's brunch. It's Chance's brunch.
On Tuesday.
Get there.
The day of the game?
Folks, get to City National 8:30 in the morning and say hi to the players as they're getting ready to win their biggest game of their lives. This is a great idea. What could go wrong? And this is generally a very positive podcast for the Vegas Golden Knights. Like, we're off to a strange start right now.
From your end.
Yeah, but you're positive, but you're fair and positive. You're fair.
Okay,
you're fair.
That's good.
Others don't think you're fair. So you had a question, by the way. What the heck was it?
No, just talking about the resilience of this VGK team. Winning 5 out of 6 games of the bounce back variety.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you saw Bruce Cassidy, right? Bruce Cassidy is keeping the team on track. And then this is where Kelly McCrimmon gets another, tap on the old fanny, so to speak, here for having the right players in the right positions. And this goes back to a question that I posed to Kelly McCrimmon at the NHL Stanley Cup Media Day. It was geared towards Jack Eichel. Why did they go after Jack Eichel beyond his ability? What was it that you saw in him? And I also teed it up with the fact that the team tends to target captains, people with leadership pedigree, Stanley Cups. And McCrimmon said, we're looking for good hockey people who happen to have all of these things. So, this also goes back to Pietrangelo when I hit him with a question about the mood of the locker room when the team was just slumping sometime around November. They had just lost to the Sharks, and there's another real bad game. And you would never thought we'd be where we are now based on what was happening back then. And Pietrangelo just scoffed it off. Hey, we're going to go back to work tomorrow and do our thing. And I'm like, What a canned response. Like, you can give me a little more than that. Like, I know I'm nobody, but you can give me a little something. Well, it turns out that's what they do. They put, they have a short memory. They put the losses behind them, and they come out with some of their best games. I mean, 6-0 against Dallas after dropping 2 in a row. That's why it's 5 out of 6, obviously. Saturday night was a very good effort. 3-0 lead. Credit Florida for almost climbing back. By the way, William Karlsson had the game winner of that game. Credit Florida for almost climbing back, and credit Vegas for being resilient enough to finding a way to shut the door down the stretch. I mean, if you think about it, as crazy as the end of that game was, the 15 minutes, after the Barkov goal, which came relatively early in the period, Florida didn't have a lot of high danger chances. They really locked it down pretty good. Yeah.
So the Barkov goal came at 3:50. And so Chandler Stephenson, a couple of goals, William Karlsson added a goal. It was 3-0. Then that fluke goal put Florida back into the game. It started there.
Brandon Hill smiled. He was laughing at it. That was awesome, by the way. I loved it.
Montour off the carom, off of 2 VGK defenders, Braden McNabb and Shea, it ain't so, Theodore.
Yeah, that was funny. That was interesting. Theodore, he had some great moments in that game, and it looks like he's going to find a way to factor into game 5, hopefully, with a real fun. Maybe that's an early lock of the night prediction, Tony Shea Theodore. But, back to the fluky goal, as weird as that was, that's the thing. People on Twitter started, flipping out. Oh, here it comes. Here comes the comeback. That's a 1 in 1,000 goal. It's going to happen. Who cares? Move on.
Yeah, but then you sweat it when Barkov scored that goal.
Oh, you got to sweat Barkov gets that goal. And Florida's going to have a push. Florida's going to have a push. They're beaten. They're battered. They're all sorts of things right now. But they are still the Eastern Conference champions. They deserve to be in the Stanley Cup final. They played really, 2 really good games at home. Same breath, the Vegas Golden Knights have kept home ice advantage. B, stolen home ice advantage. So the only thing left to do is obviously
Is
win
have a
this
brunch.
thing.
Is have a
Have a
brunch on
brunch.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Have a
Tony,
brunch on Tuesday.
I read that,
I'm boiled.
Tony.
I'm boiled. I thought it was on Monday, which is okay. That's acceptable. Tuesday game day, start things off 8:30. These guys are going to be mentally spent by the time of face-off. I thought it was hilarious, right? Jonathan Marchessault and the top line started the game off. When Cassidy was asked, why did you start the top line? Cassidy said, Marchie's been bothering me to start all season long, so I thought I'd give in to him. That's the way that unfolded. That's
it's probably truthful too. That's the funny thing. Like that's literally probably what happened. And maybe there was more to it than that. But listen, we've have our issues with things this team does at times from a business standpoint, from chances brunch the day this team is going to try and win a Stanley Cup, because that's what the players want to see. They want to see a line of 500 fans when they got, I mean, listen, those of you that do work normal jobs, and when I had a regular job, you got your coffee, you're pulling in the work, you're a little bit groggy, like it would be like they had these employee rallies at my former employer that was just, they were garbage. I don't know how else to say it. I'm sorry. I know some former colleagues might watch this and get mad, but these were garbage, these things that they did. I could not, the only thing worse than having this at 2:30 in the afternoon would have been me having it like when I walked into work at 9 a.m. with a coffee in my hand, trying to clear my eyes and get ready for the day. And, like I get it. The fans are going to love it and fine, but just leave these guys alone. Let them do their thing. And then afterwards, my point I was making is we're one game from the Cup final. All the things that have happened from a business standpoint, on the ice, off the ice, something right's happening along the way. So maybe this will give them the motivation they need. Maybe this will get them going. Maybe they win the game 5-1, and this is a non-starter, Tony. That could happen. It's probably what is going to happen, to be honest. They've done very well. They've done very well in home ice in the Cup final against the Panthers.
But the distractions are just at a different level now. And again, Aiden Hill, if he comes out shaky, who knows, right? VGK was able in game 4 to generate a lot of chances through the neutral zone. I thought that was a plus. One of the things, though, that we noticed, right, was that the Golden Knights were shooting a lot of their shots at Sergei Bobrovsky right into his crest. So right at him. So many of their chances came because they were in deep, very deep, and they didn't get any lift on the puck or anything else. They didn't try to move the puck.
I think it's just a bang-bang thing. Eichel has the puck, you have there were some times when they skate in and could have gotten some shots off, no doubt. But like Eichel had a prime opportunity, but you got to let that shot go the second it's on your stick. Barbashev had a similar spot. Marchessault was mad at himself for missing one. And, credit Bobrovsky. Those saves don't look that easy if Bobrovsky isn't standing in the middle or at the top of his crease, cutting that angle down. If Bobrovsky is in the back of the nets, then obviously those look like snipes. So, let's give Bobrovsky some credit. And obviously you want to see Eichel, especially Eichel. You just feel that if he gets one, it's not going to stop there. He's going to get a couple of more. So, listen, at the end of the day, it's still 3-1. It was nice to see Chandler Stephenson bounce back. It was nice to see Mark Stone obviously have a big effect on the game. William Karlsson, we haven't heard his name at all in the Cup final as far as getting a goal. I know, Tony, you're keeping track closer than I am, but it was nice to see him get on the board. Although Mark Stone was talking a lot about William Karlsson and his efforts in the game in the pressers. So, he's doing fine. He could still win the Conn Smythe. He could still win the Conn Smythe.
It's the first time I've ever seen Vegas Bjorn throw a punch at the end of that game.
He threw the first punch, and he threw the first punch between those two. He did.
Yeah.
And I think he was saying sorry to him. I think he was like saying sorry.
What was he saying? Sorry, dude. Like, I didn't mean.
He probably was.
He's no longer Lady Bing. No longer under Bruce Cassidy. Okay. So it was a pretty clean game up until the very end. And that final sequence, which all began with another blunder by Alex Pietrangelo. It's the second time this season where we've seen him with a delay of game. Luckily, there's only 17.4 seconds to go. And then Florida gets the 2-man advantage, of course, with Bob out of the net.
And we had a broken stick, too, right in the face-off.
We
had a broken twig.
Another broken twig. And again, here was an opportunity for Florida. They almost scored. And it was Chucky who was right there on the doorstep. The goal would not have counted.
Right.
But then all of the madness and pandemonium ensued. The rats on the ice.
Panda. Where? Oh, Oh,
I posted a
pandemonium.
picture of
Pandemonium.
the
Sorry,
panda.
pandemonium. That was such a good tweet, Tony. That was such a good tweet earlier. We're all over the
You have
place,
to wonder
folks.
what
We're having
Leonard,
fun.
yeah, you have to wonder what Leonard's doing right now. But can you unpack what happened on those late penalties and how the only question I have, and it's not anti-VGK, how in the world does Aiden Hill get away with throwing yet another blocker punch?
So you got a few things. So Pietrangelo, the reason that happened, bad ice, Tony. That puck did jump. That puck jumped on him a little bit. He still needs to be more responsible.
No.
He's trying to go high and hard, but
No,
bad ice.
No, don't start with the bad ice, please.
All right, so yeah, you're already on a pill, so we need to keep that going. So the final penalty count. Let's see. Let's count together. Makachuk, 2 for slashing, 10 for unsportsmanlike. We're up to 12. No, I'm sorry. We're up to 4 because that's unsportsmanlike. Now the misconducts. Now we're up to 14. Aiden Hill gets 2. Montour gets 2. Montour gets 10. So we have 2, 4, 14, 6. We have 26 to 4 penalty minutes in the end there. That's pretty awesome.
That's pretty
a lot of questions are being asked. One, Pietrangelo
coming
exiting
out of
the penalty box, and there's a
Yeah.
fight happening. There's a couple rules that do talk about that, but a lot of that is geared towards if there is an instigator situation, and particularly he's the instigator. Everything shows him being engaged by Tkachuk and other players on the ice. So that's a good thing. The second thing is I'm curious what the role of the penalty timekeeper was in all of that. There are off-ice officials who are usually local referees and things like that. Their job is to open and close the penalty box door. That's literally what they do. They do more than that, but that's their primary job function during a game. So did Pietrangelo break out of the box, like a caged gorilla to go get in there? Or did the timekeeper open the box and then there just happens to be something happening? So I don't think anything's happening on that. I think if there was going to be some type of announcement about a review or something strange, I think that would have happened already. Aiden Hill's out there throwing haymakers with everything he can. And a good buddy of mine, Phil, buys into some of my hockey breaks. He's a St. Louis guy, but he's wondering, why is Binnington getting suspended for leaving the crease and hitting pretty hard with his blocker hand? He got 2 games earlier in the year. That game against Minnesota where Fleury wanted to have a fight with him. And the difference with that is Binnington literally exited the crease to create a confrontation and basically almost went in like an intent to injure, where both times Aiden Hill, there's something already happening in front of him. He's getting pushed. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying one's better than the other, but I don't think Aiden Hill is even under any possible, concern about any supplementary discipline, whatever it is, discipline from the NHL, nor do I think anything's happening with Pietrangelo. And the penalties at the end of the game, I mean, I don't know, Montour certainly starred everything. I mean, honestly, Carlson maybe getting 2 for roughing is maybe the only thing that they might have missed in all that, but they wanted to make sure they kept Lady Bing going there.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. On the way out, just a quote from Keegan Colasar, who was mic'd up. He said, "I like when teams hate us." And this series is getting heated. Later on, we'll take a look at the latest in the injuries, as I think VGK, you could say, honestly, is winning the war of attrition. And coming up next, for the second time in his career, Chandler Stephenson with the opportunity to hoist the Stanley Cup at T-Mobile Arena.
Right? That's pretty cool.
He scored twice on Saturday night, including the opening goal, and it happened on yet another line change. We're going to get into that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
That was bad ice.
Maybe you're like us and you want to be healthy and eat well, but it's always easier said than done. Well, that's no longer the case with AG1. With one delicious scoop of AG1 in a glass of water each day, you are absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens that will help you to start the day off on the right foot. It's a special blend of ingredients that supports everything from your nervous system to your recovery focus. You sleep better like I do, and much, much more. It can be very hard and expensive to keep track of all the multiple different supplements and vitamins, not to mention how hard. You okay there?
I'm good. I'm better now.
All right. How hard it can be on your stomach. AG1, that cough, I think, was hard on your stomach. AG1 cost you less than $3 a day, and you are investing in the health, and it is much, much cheaper than your cold brew habit. Right now, it's the time to reclaim your health and to arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Just go to athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Back from Las Vegas, Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick, and we are supercharged. One more win for VGK.
We're feisty.
We could call it a wrap, okay? We'd like to thank everyone for making us your first listen each and every day. Fridays are WTF, What the Friday. This Friday, if things go according to form.
I was thinking the same thing.
You think the parade on Friday. Typically, that's what they'll do, right?
Where's it going to go? Like, seriously, we shouldn't be talking about this, but it's just such
I'm going to post something maybe later on Sunday night. I'm going to take a napkin and I'll draw you a really nice route.
Like, I was thinking like somewhere down 15 even, but even that's a poop show right now. Like, seriously, what artery around the strip can they consider doing this?
Can't be Frank Sinatra.
No, it can't be Sinatra. It can't be anywhere in Tropicana.
Oh, my God.
There's nowhere on the strip they could do it on.
Right. It's just they're going to have to do it.
There's a little thing between the Golden Knights and the Raiders, so they don't want to do it at Allegiant.
Just do it south, I guess. Somewhere start at Mandalay Bay, perhaps.
Mandalay to South Points, because there's not a lot there, I guess, maybe.
Perhaps.
Start at the sign do a team photo and go down to South Point.
All right, so back to Chandler Stephenson.
Oh, yeah.
He's already skated around T-Mobile Arena back in 2018 with the Stanley Cup when he was with the Washington Capitals and they beat VGK in Game 5 for the Cup. And now the veteran forward now has a chance to repeat and have a repeat performance on Tuesday night for VGK. And Stevenson, who is an all-star, I think people forget that. He's had an up and down playoffs, to be quite honest. But for the 10th time in the postseason, VGK scored a goal in the first 5 minutes of a game, and he was the beneficiary very early on. And for the third time, get this stat that I dug up. For the third time in these Cup playoffs, Chris, Chandler Stephenson scored a goal on a line change. The Stars in Game 2, remember that? Dodonov and Wyatt Johnson left the ice for a change. VGK comes up with a 4-on-3, and Theodore shot the puck, rebound Stevenson, goal. Okay, Game 1 versus Edmonton. This is unbelievable. You never see this door. We had not seen this door in the course of the regular season, and we've seen it 3 times in the postseason, and Chandler Stephenson has cashed in all 3 times. Game 1 against Edmonton, Petro to Stone, to Howden, to Stevenson, and that's at the point where they led at that point 5-3 in Game 1 with 3:26 to go. VGK won that game 6-4 on the Eichel empty netter. Warren Fogle left the ice early, and there's something about the Golden Knights when they could sense. Are they communicating? How is this happening? And how does the puck wind up on the stick 3 times on a line change in the playoffs for Chandler Stephenson?
There was a meme going with Stevenson on that breakaway, like saying how the NHL is rigged. It looked like a flying V with the Florida Panthers, like all a foot behind him on each side. I mean, that's not the case. Opportunistic is the only thing I can say. I mean, when you do, and this is no different than what I tell the kids that I coach, when you do the little things right, good things happen. When you do line changes at the right time, you don't give up stupid goals. Let's start there. Florida, Dallas, Seattle, and whoever else you said earlier. Then I'm sure there's more.
Play Seattle in the playoffs.
So point being is do the little things right, take advantage of any opportunity. And, those goals don't happen. I think if it's not for Mark Stone on both of them, doing what he does, setting up Stevenson. And, I was talking with the Gilts on Sunday for a Locked On NHL, and he asked kind of what's going on. And, it's someone different every night is what it seems like. And it's not even just one, like this is kind of an anomaly where, Stevenson got his 2 goals. Marchessault's had a couple of 2-goal games along the way as well. But usually it's 4 or 5 different goal scorers. I say that kind of jokingly because we're scoring 4 or 5 goals a night right now. But it's usually a bunch of different scorers all finding ways to chip in. And, last night was Stevenson's turn. And I mean, that's still line 2/line 3, however you want to measure that on paper, depending on which broadcast or which writer you're reading on on Twitter right now. But that's still a pretty good line 3. It's still a pretty good line 3.
On Saturday night, early in the game, at just a minute 39 in, that's when Aaron Ekblad exited the ice on the line change. No one back defensively. No one took his place, and it was White Cloud to Stone to Stevenson. Just unbelievable. And currently now, Chandler Stephenson has 19 points, and he's doing a great job. But 3 of his 10 goals have come on opponent line changes. It's been up and down for Stevenson. He did have that cross check earlier on in the series. He did have those issues in the face-off circle.
Stevenson tried to get a cross check in this game too. He tried to do it in this game.
Yeah, for sure. And again, though, he's just been up and down. His second goal, because what had happened was
great shot.
He got in deep, though, prior to that, and he was right there in front of Bobrovsky, and he passed up the puck.
Of course he did. Well, that's all Vegas does is they pass when they get close now.
Yeah. So in any event, I mean, then he finally just second time, he just pots the goal, I mean, on the wrister. And that was a beauty of a shot. And at that point, they go up 2-0. So that was pretty interesting, though, for Chandler Stephenson. And hopefully, he can rebound and play well here down the stretch here and perhaps in the final game and hoist the cup again.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be
cool,
fun.
Right?
I mean, how cool is it? Like the way, who was Chandler Stephenson 6 years ago to anybody in the league? Call it what it is. He's a 4th line grinder, few goals here, few goals there, basically, a rental player to fill a roster spot. And then, you were so high on him in the previous season being our MVP when, it was such a down season. Even the last 2 years, he's had a couple of great years. So awesome to watch his career blossom. And it would be really cool. That's the type of thing where no one else in history may achieve what Chandler Stephenson is possibly about to do. Another fun takeaway from the game was Gudis wanted to go after Will Carrier again. Carrier has both his hands up like, dude, no, you can hit me. You can do what you want. I'm not touching you. I'm not going back to the box. And I put this up. I would be remiss if I didn't get this out there. So watch party, Henderson, Saturday night, beautiful weather, 2,000 people there. So awesome. I did have a WTF in a negative fashion about Henderson because after the watch party on Thursday, the screen was pixelating at times. It wasn't a good experience at some key moments in the game.
Did you get in trouble? You in hot water?
No. So here's what happens on Saturday night, Tony. The screen pixelated very, very little. It was really good. Okay. But then the last 17 seconds, I start recording because it's a big moment, right? When there's 3 seconds on the clock, the screen goes completely dark for about 1 full second.
Oof.
So City of Henderson, you made some wonderful strides. You got some good food trucks. Big shout out to L Dogs. Best hot links I've had in this town in a long time. Great setup out there. The DJ, he can talk a little less, but it's still fun. It's a great environment. Just find a way. There is a possibility of one of the most exciting moments for many fans' lives that you are about to be the host for. Fix your screen. Find a way. Do not become a national laughingstock if with 5 seconds to go, the Golden Knights score this amazing goal to win the cup and the screen goes black. Please, Henderson. This is my backyard. Lifeguard is my second home. Find a way to fix this, whatever it takes, please.
Coming up next, once again, we witnessed the toughness of Jack Eichel. And the Panthers are worn down. They are getting beaten down from injuries. Back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. For a championship team, it's all about making sure that every player is a perfect fit. That could happen just here in Las Vegas if they win the Stanley Cup. Well, it's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can make sure that every part that you need fits right the first time around. Just go and add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check, and you will know that that part will fit or you get your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win. And as soon as you have the right parts, because they're guaranteed, right? And get the right parts, the right fit, the right prices, ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick. We come to you from Las Vegas each and every day. We've got Cup fever in this city. Just one more win number 16, and VGK, they complete their quest for the Stanley Cup in season number 6. It's just unbelievable. And VGK, as we mentioned, Chris, right before the break, they're winning the battle of attrition, and they are definitely beating down, I think, with their depth. I have to believe, beating down the Florida Panthers. Jack Eichel continues to amaze us. He really does.
He's a warrior.
Hit by a hard slap shot, left side of his neck, off of the stick of Jonathan Marchessault, and he thought that he drew blood, and he was just checking for blood as he left the ice. And it was a scary moment because of his neck injury. First and foremost, that's the first thing that came to mind. He left the ice, and then he returned, and after the game, he even visited with fans. So maybe that's what adrenaline does, and you have to hope that everything's okay with Eichel. Maybe he sits out the skate on Monday.
Yeah, I mean, I was telling a story to my kids and my wife when I was reffing a beer league game. I was standing on the glass, and person clears the puck from behind the net. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Person cleared the puck high. There's a player between me and the puck, so I don't get a read off of it right away. All of a sudden, player ducks, and I got a puck looking me square in the eye. I move a little bit, and the puck just barely grazed my neck, but it like I felt it. It didn't hurt a ton, but it scared the ever-living, insert inappropriate word here out of me. And, fast forward to Jack Eichel, took a shot from Marchessault, who, shoots a little harder than that beer league chump that almost, took out my jugular. And it hit him in right here in just this terrible spot. And like you said, who knows what the carryover from his neck surgery is and all of that. And, just glad that, for any player, you don't want someone taking a puck like that in that spot. That's dangerous. And, good for VGK, good for Eichel. Second time he took what looked to be a pretty nerve-wracking hit, if you will, situation, sits out a little bit, gets looked at, comes back, and he still has a positive effect on the game.
And for the Panthers, their injuries, Matthew Tkachuk is definitely hurt, beaten down. It appears to be, I don't know, I'm no doctor. I don't even try to play one on this podcast, but it's perhaps a shoulder injury of sorts, upper body, because Brett Howden hit him, and they go, oh, what a big hit by Howden on Tkachuk. And it really wasn't. But I think every hit
was a seeing eye hit.
Yeah, every single hit that happens now is going to be painful. He's definitely in a lot of pain. And in fact, Tkachuk was skating around just with his stick, one hand on the stick, his left hand. He sat out about 6.5 minutes. He was at the end of the bench. They brought him back for the money time, and he almost cashes in, which is just remarkable. And so he got knocked out of the game. He came back. Anthony Duclair, he's injured, not sure what his status is. And they're a pretty banged up team. Gudas still not 100%, you could tell. And I think that, again, VGK is winning this war of attrition by doing it repeated. It's just hard to believe. It was hard for me to fathom that this would turn into a physical team. And that's exactly what they've become. They're a physical team, and they're wearing down a team in the Stanley Cup final, which I never would have envisioned in a million years. Ever.
Or they're the bully. They're the big bully of the Stanley Cup of the playoffs. And I mean that in a positive way. I absolutely love the brand of hockey that the Florida Panthers play. It's this good mix of old school versus new school with speed and skill, but they also have some players who will just put you into that second row with the thing of nachos, right?
Nachos,
right, Alec Martinez. There you go. Matt Tkachuk, credit him for being a warrior. Credit him for scoring some of the most money goals in the entire playoff. That said, I'm going to say this very bluntly. VGK, if he takes the ice on Tuesday, needs to eliminate him. I don't mean they need to do anything dirty. I don't want anyone hitting him from behind or doing half the things they've been doing to Mark Stone. But Kolesar, if he gets his shot to line him up, take him out. Howden, if he gets his shot to hit him on the boards, finish that check, finish it hard. Eliminate him from this series. It might only take one or two more hits to do it, and that's part of the game of hockey. Again, I'm not saying target him. I'm not saying play dirty. I'm not saying do anything, but you finish every check, every opportunity you can on Tkachuk. If we let him hang around and this series does happen to extend, that'll be a huge mistake by the VGK. And it's not just Matt Tkachuk. It's all the players you mentioned. VGK needs to turn the tables now and play a more physical role because this series could extend. You never know. If Florida does win game 5, that will deflate the Golden Knights, who will be, all excited, fresh off of Chance's big brunch. So that
Chance's brunch is on Monday. You're so
no,
confusing.
It's not.
I
got the email right here. I got
Monday's
the email.
Team practice ahead of Tuesday's game 5.
It says
festivities
Monday?
at 8:30 on Monday. Yeah, there's no way they would do this on
Festivities
game day.
8:30 outside the main entrance to cheer players when they arrive for 11 a.m. practice.
I don't know. Okay, maybe they're two separate emails, and I'm not on that. I'm not privy to.
They announced today. You don't have a chance for Mondays. Okay, it's Monday. Okay, you win this.
Monday.
You win this battle.
It's Monday.
It says Monday's practice ahead of Tuesday's game. We can agree this sucks.
Okay,
we can agree on that.
It's the brunch. It's the brunch in front of City National. Only 250
Who's to say they're not going to do another brunch?
In.
Who's to say they're not going to do another brunch?
There's just too much going on. It's a circus, man. And the players just have to get on that ice, concentrate, get out there, skate around, move those legs, and set things up for hopefully win number 16. And Cassidy said the fans need to celebrate this. I thought that was really cool.
Sure.
He's starting to feel it. And they did have the bench mic'd up, and you hear him like, let's go, boys, let's go. And he's more like engaged and into it. So he's starting to feel that this team, and they have to do it this game. There's no doubt. I know that they could come back and win the series, but they have to just finish it, and they need to close out. And they learned, hopefully, from the Dallas series, they need to get rid of this opponent, and they need to do it on Tuesday night. They need to beat the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do it now. Leave no doubt. Don't give Florida any hope because they go back. It's almost a certain if this thing does go back to Florida, Florida's winning game 6. You have to give credit. That has to be the mindset, at least, of the Golden Knights. If they lose this game, more bad ice, it's going to be really bad, really bad.
They need to have Chucky's brunch out there. I think that would be pretty good. Fried gator, all sorts of good things. We thank everyone for tuning in. Yeah, we appreciate you all, especially our everydayers, the folks that put up with us.
YouTube. We need some more subscribers. We're almost at 1,000. Almost.
All right, get there. Please go there and subscribe. Find us again wherever you get your podcast. We'll be back again on Tuesday. That's not the day of the big brunch. It's on Monday. All that confusion. For Chris Golick, Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again on Tuesday right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take